Welcome back to Locked On Buffs. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm Kevin Borba, host of the show, cover Colorado and everybody else in college football, triathlon sports as well. And we were told the other day, it was kind of made public, that Cedarian Morgan, five-star wide receiver, took an unexpected secret visit to Colorado. So, according to 24/7, he is the number 2 wide receiver in the country, number 11 player overall, 6'4", 210, looks the part, absolute baller. And he made his way to Colorado. He had a visit with Auburn, and he has a visit with Alabama, I think right now or coming up. And he took a quick pit stop in Boulder. And what does this mean? Well, he shared a picture from Boulder, and I think this means that there is a possibility that Colorado is in the mix. At the end of the day, they have an uphill battle. He's an Alabama native, so both the Alabama schools, Auburn and Alabama, are pushing hard for him. Not surprising. That being said, the fact that he's going back to Colorado after they had already hosted him for an official visit in May, I don't think that hurts, right? This is the scouting report on Cedarian Morgan. Evaluations echo the luxury of a sports car. Big, smooth, and powerful. Plays with obvious horsepower, accompanied by some encouraging physical refinement and nuance in regards to fluidity and locomotion, getting compared to a train, apparently. Dominant in contested scenarios as a consistent high pointer who exploits significant physical advantages for smaller defenders. Owns an enormous catch radius that gives a quarterback a large target throughout the route tree. Immensely productive with huge receiving numbers and even limited defensive reps, so you could do a little bit of everything. Excellent multi-sport profile that includes averaging a double-double in hoops and a silver medal in the 200 meter. Size and track speed suggests that top end gear and pads exist. So the dude is just super athletic. This past year, 70 catches for 1,100 yards, 16.6 yards per catch, 14 touchdowns, and helped his squad make it to the first round of the playoffs. His sophomore year, 36 catches for 622 yards and 4 touchdowns. So obviously he took a huge jump. He has the size, he has the frame, and I think Colorado has the interest here. And I've talked about this before. Deion Sanders is good for at least one 5-star every recruiting class. Every year since 2022, which is when they they landed Travis Hunter, they have landed a 5-star, right? It was Travis, it was Cormani, it was Jordan, it was Juju, right? So we don't know who the 5-star is that Colorado is all in on this year. I would imagine it's Cedarian, right? They've gone to visit him at his school, not Coach Prime, but recruiting staffers. They've had him obviously come to campus multiple times. So what does this visit mean? I think this visit means that Colorado has a puncher's chance, even if he does commit to Alabama or Auburn, because he is scheduled to commit on July 2nd, which is in a few weeks. Even if he does commit to one of those schools, flips happen, right? Prime flipped Cormani. Prime flipped Julian Lewis from USC. I don't think he flipped Jordan Seaton. That being said, Ohio State and Maryland were pushing really hard for him, and he flipped Travis Hunter. So 3 out of the 4 5-stars he's landed, he has flipped from another program. So even if Cedarian Morgan commits to Alabama, to Auburn, doesn't mean you should close the door on these Colorado Buffaloes, because Coach Prime, until pen is put to paper, you cannot count out Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Colorado's latest running back addition and what I think of the room overall. Welcome back to Locked On Buffs. Appreciate you guys for tuning in every single day, making me your first listen of the day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, so make sure to like, subscribe, and follow so you don't miss out on a moment of the coverage. Let's talk about the latest transfer portal addition for the Buffs. Not the splashiest one, but one that I think was pretty necessary, I guess you could say. They went out and landed a running back, Simeon Price, out of Coastal Carolina. Started his career at Mississippi State, and then played this past year for the Chanticleers, who are also, this is a random fact that you probably don't need to know, but I'm going to tell it to you. They're playing for a title in baseball, which they won back in, I think it was 2016. Really cool uniforms. That being said, Let's focus on the football. Sorry, Kevin, focus. Come on, focus. They land Simeon Price, former. Let's pull up his recruiting profile. Not the most impressive stats, right? He's not a guy who he was a 3-star recruit out of Florida. Went to West Florida Tech High School in Pensacola. 559th player in the country, 36 athlete, 79 player in the state of Florida. Picked the Bulldogs over Arkansas, Boston College, Cincinnati, Colorado State. Pretty heavily recruited, I guess you could say. 22 offers. I mean, that's nothing to scoff at. But I think you could say he has not really, like, he had offers from Oklahoma, Tennessee, Florida State, or excuse me, not Florida State, Virginia Tech, Nebraska, Kansas State, Georgia Tech. So he had some offers from some pretty big programs. He did a little bit of both, right? He was a receiver, a running back at the high school ranks, could kind of do everything. 6 foot 204. So he's probably the biggest running back, I think, on Colorado's roster right now, height-wise at least. During his career, he's rushed for, let's see, I'll do some quick math. 79 carries for 277, or excuse me, 327 career yards and no touchdowns. He has a receiving touchdown and has also showed the ability to return kicks. I think he's a nice flyer, right? I talked about him a while back where I thought when they had Isaiah Gustave, Michael Welch, Dallin Hayden, right? I was like, this is a guy you take a flyer on, bolster the running back room. And now it's like he bolsters the running back room, but he's also maybe in a position to play, right? I'm very, and I said I would talk about this, this Colorado role or this Colorado room earlier in the show. I don't love this running back room, right? They have DeKalen Taylor, who I'm very high on. I think Dallin Hayden is the favorite to win the job. That being said, we haven't seen much from him during his time in Boulder. Michael Welch, I think, showed some flashes, but obviously injuries hampered him during his freshman year. But I really thought Colorado was going to go hard in this running back room. They said they're going to commit to running the ball this year. And I don't know if they committed to going extremely hard at getting a running back in the transfer portal. That being said, maybe a guy like Cam McKell moves, right? I think that could be a possible option for him because Cam McKell, if you guys remember, was sort of a wide receiver that could play running back. 4-star recruit, top 100 guy. He was listed as an athlete. Did a little bit of everything in high school, played quarterback, running back, corner. And then they were like, you know what? We're going to play him receiver. Why not move him to running back, right? I think he has I feel like he would have the inside track at running back, honestly, if they were to switch him. Because I don't think this room is where it needs to be, and I don't think there's any more additions to be made. So Simeon Price, I think, adds some nice depth. For a team like Colorado who said they're going to run the ball a lot this year, I don't feel like they position themselves to have a really deep room. That being said, I could be wrong, but we'll see what happens. We'll see if anyone moves around. We'll see if someone steps up, like DeKalen Taylor or Dallin Hayden. But that is the latest on your Colorado Buffaloes. I appreciate you guys for tuning in every single day, making me your first listen of the day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and I will see you guys next week.